Ladies and gentlemen, how are you going? Look, this is Handy Tech Tips with your IT tech, the fallen one, or Daniel, whatever you want to call me, really. Okay, let's see. Malwarebytes Anti-Malware, which is quite fantastic for finding things. I'd recommend it if you're going to pay money to get something that's going to get rid of your spyware and your malware, as it were, commercial malware and things like that. I'd recommend this. It's freaking marvelous. Now, aside from that, this is a great little antivirus program, Bitdefender, GameSafe. I'm using GameSafe version mainly because the version. Okay, I'm mainly using the GameSafe version because I want to be able to play my games, and this is supposed to be have less. It takes up less resources and sort of doesn't kill the system as much as the other stuff. Now, it's got all of the usual bits and pieces that you would associate with a antivirus program. It's got a firewall, privacy controls, updatability, and I mean you've pretty much got control over all your aspects of traffic coming in and out of your computer. Now, you've got privacy controls, which is for eBay and places and other sites, and your banking and things like that. Now, um, it's marvelous. I've had no issues with it. A couple of crashes here and there, but nothing too over the top. Now, I'll just show you. Now, this is malware. This is the Malwarebytes website. I definitely recommend if you're going to purchase something to get rid of spyware, I'd recommend this. Now, another program I'd also recommend is Zone Alarm. Now, Zone Alarm is for your home and small business protection. Now, Zone Alarms are marvelous. I couldn't fault it. I used to use it before. I don't use it that much now. I think the only reason that I did stop using it was because it was not 64-bit compatible. Eventually, I'll probably renew my license with Zone Alarm at some point, but at the moment, I'm just using Bitdefender. But yes, now it is 64-bit compatible with Vista and things like that, so it's all good. Zone Alarm Antivirus, Zone Alarm Pro, we got we got Zone Alarm, which is just a firewall on its own. Zone Alarm Antivirus, which is its antivirus, and Security Suite, which carries anti-spyware and antivirus and firewall all in one. Now there's also the Extreme Security package, which I'm not exactly sure what's involved in that, but a few different bits and pieces, I'm guessing. Zone Alarm Force Field, which is for general internet protection, freedom with surfing and things like that. Partner Store, which I'm assuming that's somewhere else. That's something they're advertising. Now, the good thing about Bitdefender is you can actually buy site licenses or specific licenses and everything else. 3 PCs, 6490 and 6493. I'd recommend these type of programs, especially this, and Zotaline in particular, over Norton's, primarily because Norton's, I just find Norton's very frustrating. And generally it just tends to clog up your computer, to tell you the truth. What was the other one I was going to say? I can put my head around it. Oh, right. Now I remember. The other one that I was going to go for, which was Nod 32. There is a 64-bit version as well. Or Nod is Nod 32. Nod.com. I think it's Nod.com. Well, hold on a second, we'll soon find out. And no, I was completely wrong on that. Yeah, we got some dodgy shirts. Dodgy. 32.com.au. Which, now that's the Australian site for NOD, or NOD 32, which is ESET's award-winning antivirus program. That's also another recommendation. If you're going to pay for antivirus, this is probably in the lead with those two others I just recommended, if you're going to pay for them in particular. Also, be mindful of, because I've noticed a lot now. When you're on Google, you go to Google, right, for example, and you'll type in like a search engine. You'll type in antivirus. People do this all the time. Type in antivirus 2008 or 2009, for example, and then you'll get these. What is interesting? You'll get these little links here. Now, links like that, I consider to be dodgy. Other stuff, I mean, look, be careful when installing and uninstalling or reinstalling antivirus. There's nothing wrong with, um, you know, there's nothing wrong with looking for antivirus, but be a bit more specific. Find out off any of your tech-savvy friends about antivirus that is specifically, say, for certain things, find out about specific antiviruses before you go looking, because half the time the likelihood of these days, especially hitting a dodgy link in Google, is very high. So unfortunately, you have to sort of watch out and keep an eye on things. So yeah, sad really, but yeah. Also another one this one in particular. Now, if I can just hopefully I'm pretty sure that's the sponsor link. Now, Crispian, Caspian, I don't know how the fuck to pronounce it, but my point is that this is another one that's on my list as well. There's a lot of people have told me good things about this. On and off, there's always going to be, there's always going to be positive and negative. You take both with a grain of salt. You can look for different reviews and things like that on different one of them, but pretty much one, two, and three, and of course Nod or NOD. I would recommend, because these pretty much are the ones that tend to keep a computer pretty protected, and they tend to detect things that aren't normally uh, aren't normally in the database first up, not until they update them at least, but most of the time, yeah. And of course this is marvelous too. This is another thing. I mean, if you're going to go for anything, really, this will get rid of all your spyware type of stuff. This, of course, will do the same, but that's extra protection. Gets rid of everything you need to get rid of, and it does have an active scanner if you want it. The only thing you're paying for with this one is the active scanner. If you don't want an active scanner, it is freeware, so it will do the freeware scan and clean things up for you. But the active scanner sort of keeps an eye on things. If you want for that one, well, you can just go with that one. But yeah. Anyway, these are the recommendations I give in that sense. And be careful when clicking on links in Google. It doesn't matter what link you particularly. I mean, well, it matters what links you click on these days, because a lot of the times you find that tends to be the fact that yeah, it tends to get in the way. And there's a lot of viruses coming out these days that just disable, just simply disable your task manager for that matter. There's stuff that'll sort of disable this and get rid of it. And the funny thing is that it's getting harder and harder to remove them, and sometimes it's just easier. Like, it's just easier to reformat the computer and put the operating system back on than it is to try and kill the virus and make the fix up the virus basically. But anyway, I'll leave it at that for now. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. This has been Handy Tech Tips with your IT Tech Dan and Daniel, the fallen one, whatever you really want to call me. I take privy to my own name. I am my own self. Anyway, I'll leave that for the time being. Thank you very much, and Gesundheit. Gesundheit, might. I don't know, something wrong. I think it's along those lines anyway. Okay, thank you very much. Good evening.